Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel Stock with Khan, and in today's video I'm gonna be talking about some of the best ETFs that are out there which has at the same time the opportunity to provide dividend yields to its investors. So I think you will find this video of value, therefore stick around. The first ETF that I'm going to be talking about is called XLK. XLK is a very popular technologically focused ETF. So it's basically investing in the stocks which are the top technological stocks in the index fund S&P 500. So it involves, for instance, Apple, Tesla, all the major hyped mega market cap companies. And if you look at it here in the chart, you will see that it has like 1% of dividend yield, but at the same time, if you look at its 1 year's background, so 1 year before, in March 30, this stock was ETF was trading at 77. So by the way, the definition of ETFs is, because there are some people out there who believe that I'm way too advanced, so I'm gonna explain this in a layman term. ETFs are exchange traded funds, so you can trade them on normal stock exchange on daily basis. You can buy and sell them, and they're not like mutual funds where you can do the trading only at the end of the stock market day. So you can only buy and sell on a normal stock market day, so like in the after hours. But ETFs you can trade, sell and buy on any stock exchange during a normal trading day. So that is the main difference between ETF and mutual funds. So let's come back to XLK. XLK basically has 70 major companies that it is investing in, and the main companies, just like I mentioned, are only on the side of technology. So Tesla is there, one of the main holdings, and its 52 weeks high is 139, while its 52 weeks low is 75. It tells you that it has at the same time very like on a year-to-year basis an opportunity from, for instance, 8 to let's say at this point 75 by 2 is almost 150, so its high was 139. So it's literally was 80 to 90% up over the year, because if you look at it, it was trading at 77 on March 30, 2020, and right now it's trading at 135. So if you consider the annual dividend as well as the growth in this ETF, I think it's a wonderful ETF, and it's one of the most popular ETFs that is out there. That's why I wanted to bring it to your notice. Because if you are, Warren Buffett once said, and also Tony Robbins was speaking in his book Money Masters the Game, that if you want to be successful in investment, you better invest in index funds as well as in ETFs. The same is the formula of Warren Buffett. He was asked, what is the simplest formula to your wealth? And he answered with slow and consistent growth, so investing in ETFs. The second ETF that I'm going to be talking about is called GIGE, G-I-G-E. Actually, I had notes on GIGE because GIGE is also very well known. So it's involved in freelancing, and this industry obviously is exponentially growing. And the companies range from, for instance, associated with, that is automotive driving, electric vehicles. I'm not sure if it has the electric vehicles, but it for sure has companies which are involved in the production of cars, food delivery, for instance, personal online stores, just like, for instance, they are heavily invested in Upwork. They're also invested in Square, PayPal, Airbnb. We all know the future, one of the stock that will really go high. It will be a mega stock in future, that is Airbnb. So they are heavily invested in that. These are some of the best companies. although they in total have 68 different holdings at this point. So GIGE is one of my, I would say, one of my favorite ETF as well. Not the favorite, the most favorite one I will talk at the end. But at the same time, GIGE has also the dividend yield, although it's not as much as with XLK or some of the other ETFs that I'm going to be talking about. If you look at 1 year's chart for GIGE, it was in March 30, 2020, trading at $14. Right now it's 38. Tells you that it has almost increased in value around about 150 to 180%, and you are getting some amount of dividend yield as well. That's the beauty of ETFs. They have this constant growth opportunities, long-term slow growth opportunities. If you, for instance, look at any decade in the last 100 years, there is not a single time been a decade where one ETF or an index fund or market overall was like 8 to 10% down. But you will always see, if you read the history for the last 100 years, that the whole market was, especially those big funds such as S&P 500s, they were 8 to 10% high, and that also stays the same for those ETFs in particular, which are investing in those stocks from S&P 500. The third ETF that I'm going to be talking about is called DVY. DVY is also one of my favorite ETF. I'm personally thinking about opening a portfolio where I will be only investing in ETFs, and I will for sure include DVI. This is alongside XLK. DVI owns renowned companies with growing dividend demand, so they are only interested in companies which are providing dividend yields. That is such a wonderful opportunity, I would say, especially at the moment, because right now we have a bear market. Every single stock is literally in red for the last 3 to 5 weeks. At the same time, it has an impact on those ETFs as well, because they have like stop signal, I would say. So they are not in that bull range, although they are not dropping as much as the stocks in general. Especially the EV market is in complete chaos. It's a total market crash for the electric vehicle companies. But anyway, that is slightly off topic. So coming back to DVY, DVY is a dividend investing ETF. It has companies like HP, the mainly computer companies, ALTRIA, Marathon Oil, such massive companies, and it's providing a dividend yield of 3.35%. If you look at 1 year chart for DVY, DVY was trading in March 30 on 69.37. Right now it's trading at $114. It tells you that it in 1 year it has grown from 69 to 114. That is literally 75 to 80% of growth for you. Yeah, I would really recommend these ETFs, but at the same time I would also consider that you do your own research, because there are massive amount of ETFs out there, especially in the cannabis market as well as in the clean energy. So you might also find some really good ETFs in that compartment as well. The last ETF that I would like to talk about is called Spdr. It is also investing in the S&P 500 high yield dividend stocks, and it is one of the ETFs which has the highest dividend yield to my knowledge. If you look at its 1 year's chart, this ETF was trading at March 30 on $22. Right now it's sitting at 38. That is 90 to 92% of growth for you, and at the same time you are getting 4.43% of dividend yield. So these were some of the best ETFs that are out there that I literally researched and looked through, and that I'm personally interested in opening a portfolio and putting them in my portfolio. So if you found this video of value, please hit the subscribe button as well as the notification bell, and I will see you in the next video.